The topic for discussion is grassland ecosystem. An ecosystem which has more water sources than a desert but inadequate to bear a forest is called as grassland. The biome, starting from the ends of the desert habitat and extending across the forest land habitat, constitutes grassland. More than 25% of the Earth's surfaces are covered by grasslands. Except for Antarctica, all continents have grasslands and constitute most of Asia and Africa. There are different types of grasslands such as plains, savannas, pampas, and prairies. Grasslands are formed where there is excessive rain for deserts but not sufficient for growth of forests. Grasslands are full of different types of grasses. An example of grasslands can be of a field of wheat, although they are mostly cultivated. One of the exceptional qualities of grass is that it grows under the ground. During winter seasons, grass does not grow till it warms up. Next is characteristics or features of grassland ecosystem. The characteristics of grassland ecosystem are 1. Temperature. Grasslands can be found in high temperature belts like the equatorial regions or in mid to low temperature belts near the subarctic regions. However, they are not found in the extreme Arctic conditions that can be seen in the north and south poles. At the equator, they are either temperate or tropical grasslands. 2. Precipitation. Precipitation indicates the quantity of rainfall or snow that a region receives. The tropical grasslands get the maximum rainfall of around 60 inches in a year. Temperate grasslands get around 40 inches in a year. Although flooded grasslands are already wet, they receive lesser rainfall, approximately 30 to 40 inches in a year. 3. Humidity. Humidity refers to the amount of moisture that is contained in the air. Flooded and tropical grasslands are humid in nature. This indicates a high level of moisture in the atmosphere. The temperate grasslands are slightly less humid and can be sometimes also be arid, which indicates a lack of moisture in the environment. 4. Topography. The topography refers to the altitude and other features of the surface. Tropical grasslands differ broadly in terms, spreading in areas of high as well as low elevation regions. They are also found in even landscapes, usually hilly areas. Temperate grasslands are found in mid to low elevation, generally at flat areas, while flooded grasslands are found in low elevated and flat areas. 5. Plants. There are numerous varieties of grasses and plants in the grasslands. However, they have certain characteristics in common. The grasses are quite adaptable and can survive in areas that are prone to drought and fire. The long, narrow leaves lose water gradually when compared to the broad leaves of other regions. The silica in the soil allows the grasses to grow tall and thus get maximum exposure to the sunlight. 6. Invertebrates. The grasslands are also home to many species of invertebrates. They can be in the form of insects like grasshoppers, locusts, and caterpillars. Basically, these insects are consumers of grass. Invertebrates can also include earthworms, which act as tillers and help in decomposing the dead and decaying matter. Next is structure of grassland ecosystem. A grassland ecosystem has two parts, one abiotic component and biotic component. 1. Abiotic component. The abiotic component comprises of the nutrients which are available in the soil and the environment. The vital nutrients are nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, magnesium, etc. These are provided by water, nitrogen nitrates, sulfates, phosphates, etc., which are existing in the Earth's crust and atmosphere. 2. Biotic component. The biotic component of the grasslands has three segments. 1. Producer organism, 2. Consumer organism, 3. Decomposers. 1. Producer organisms. The chief producers in grasslands are grasses. They may also comprise of few shrubs and forbs. The main types of grasses that are available are species Bracharia, species Cynodon, species Desmodium, species Dicanthemum, species Digitaria, species Setaria, etc. 2. Consumer organisms. The consumers in a grassland ecosystem are of three types: primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. Primary consumers. Primary consumers. The primary herbivores exist primarily on a diet of grass. They normally are grazing animals like cows, buffaloes, sheep, rabbits, etc. They also include many varieties of insects. B. Secondary consumers. The secondary consumers are those that survive by feeding on the primary consumers. They include species of snakes, frogs, reptiles, foxes, jackals, etc. C. Tertiary consumers. The tertiary consumers feed on the secondary consumers and include species like eagles, hawks, etc. 3. Decomposers. The decomposers exist in the form of fungi and microorganisms. These organisms help in the decomposition of the dead and decaying matter and thus lead to the creation of nutrients which go into the soil. These nutrients can thus be utilized by the producers of the ecosystem. Functions of grassland ecosystem. The main functions of grassland ecosystem are: 1. Grasslands provide food. The World Resources Institute says that the grasslands are the breeding grounds for many cereals like wheat, rice, barley, sorghum, and millet. 2. Grasslands are breeding areas. The grasslands are also the breeding grounds for many varieties of birds. Important areas like the Andes mountain range, central Chile, and southern Patagonia icefield regions are considered as important breeding sites by the World Resources Institute. Types of grassland ecosystem. The types of grassland ecosystem are 1. Tropical and subtropical grasslands. The tropical and subtropical grasslands include the subtropical savannas and the shrublands biome. An example is the Llanos grassland of northern South America. 2. Temperature grasslands. These are mid-latitude grasslands and include the prairie and Pacific grasslands of Northern America, the pampas of South America, and the steppes of Europe. These kinds of grasslands contain many species of herbivores like bison, deer, zebras, rhinoceros, etc. They also have carnivores like lions, wolves, hyenas, leopards, cheetahs, tigers, etc. The other animals that are often seen in temperature grasslands are deer, prairie dogs, wild dogs, mice, rabbits, snakes, fox, owls, blackbirds, grasshoppers, locusts, hawks, sparrows, eagles, etc. 3. Flooded grasslands. These grasslands are flooded partially or throughout the year. They can be found in areas like the Everglades in Florida or Pantanal of South America. They are mostly found in tropics and subtropics regions. 4. Montane grasslands. These are high altitude grasslands and can be found in the high mountain ranges of the world like the Paramo of the Andes Mountain. They can be classified under shrublands biome. 5. Tundra grasslands. They have some traits which are similar to the montane grasslands. These grasslands can have grasses. Since they have high soil moisture content, very few remain grass covered nowadays. 6. Desert and xeric grasslands. They are also called the desert grasslands. They consist of sandy grassland ecoregions found mainly in deserts and xeric shrublands biome. Thank you.